Hey guys, what's up? So today what I have thought to discuss with you people is we will be doing certain questions from the NEET pattern questions, okay? So let's say I have got I have collected 10 NEET level questions for you and I will be discussing all these questions with you one by one, okay? So on the board you can see the very first question. First of all, what we'll do for all our exercises, I will be dictating the question on board. You will write the question, read the question, think about the answer by yourself. Okay, and after a minute or so, I will start solving the same question for you people so that you can get to know what exactly is the answer, what exactly is the answer to every particular question. Okay. So let's do one thing without wasting any further time. Let us directly continue with the first question that I have taken from NEET. This question I remember was asked in 2013. Okay, so let's read out the question. The question says that if Avogadro's number, which is Na, okay, is changed from a value of 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 mole inverse to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 20 mole inverse. That means you are bringing about a change in this value 23 to 20. Okay. Now this would change. What are the following options which are given to me and which of them will get changed? The very first is the ratio of chemical species to each other in a balanced chemical equation. Point number 2. The ratio of elements to each other in a compound. Point number 3, the definition of mass of units of gram. And point number 4, the mass of 1 mole of carbon. Okay. So now I will tell you how exactly the question is supposed to be done. We will be simply starting with what was the origin or the need of Avogadro's number. Okay. So guys, if you remember, if you would have seen my videos carefully, we would have done one particular statement. Like when my aim was to measure the mass of one atom of carbon, one atom of any element. The mass of one atom of any particular element. So what was done? We used to say that if you are taking one atom of, let's say, hydrogen, you were feeling sad because you couldn't determine it. It's very tiny, right? It's very small. You can't measure it. So then I used to ask, okay, no problem, take 10 atoms of hydrogen. Then also you were like sad because you couldn't get. Then we asked you to take 100, 1000, so many atoms, but then you started crying again because you couldn't get the mass properly, right? So finally when I asked you to take 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms of hydrogen, then the mass was found to be 1 gram, right? So then I asked you to take the mass of one atom of hydrogen and you called it 1 divided by 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 grams. Am I right? Now listen to me very carefully. Let us go to the very first option. The very first option states that the ratio of chemical species to each other in a balanced chemical equation. Guys, see. Suppose there is any particular chemical equation A plus 3B to form 2C. Okay. Earlier I used to call 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 as 1 mole. Right. So what we used to say? We used to say if the stoichiometric coefficient is 1 and 3 and 2 respectively. So I used to say 1 mole of A will combine with 3 mole of B to form 2 moles of C. Right. So the ratio was 1:3:2 if this was the ratio of number of moles. If however I was to talk about the number of molecules, then the ratio would be 1N0 is to 3N0 is to 2N0. Then also the ratio was 1:3:2, right? Now if I am changing the value of Avogadro's number to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 20, right? Now let me call this number as n naught dash. If you are calling this number as n naught dash, then also the ratio is same, right? So changing the value of Avogadro's number from 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 20, it does not bring about any change in the ratio of chemical species to each other in a balanced chemical equation. Okay, so we have rejected our first option. Moving on to the next option, which is the ratio of elements to each other in a compound. Let's see this also. For example, I have one particular compound CO2. So here also, according to the definition of number of moles, we simply say, right, that in 1 mole of the compound, we have 1 mole of carbon atoms and 2 moles of oxygen atoms, right? So if I am writing 1:2 is the ratio in the terms of number of moles, right? However, if I am talking about Avogadro's number, so then I will say 1 n0 is to 2 n0. This is the ratio of number of total elements, right? And if I am changing the Avogadro's number, then also I will ask you to put dash. When you are putting dash, this will be gone. Again, the ratio is same, 1:2. So changing the Avogadro's number value doesn't bring about the change in the ratio of elements to each other in a compound. Second is also gone. Let us move on to the third point. The definition of mass in units of grams. Like, what is the definition of mass in the units of gram? And the fourth is the mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms, right? Let us directly look at the fourth one for time being. He is talking about the mass of 1 mole of carbon atoms. Guys, earlier, look, come here. See, if I would have started with hydrogen, I did all this same thing. Now let me say the same thing for carbon atom. So what should I say? 1 atom of carbon, I won't be able to calculate. 10 atoms of carbon, I won't be able to calculate, right? Go the same way. This is what we have done earlier. So these many atoms of carbon, I won't be able to get anything. However, if I take 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 atoms of carbon, now the mass will be found to be 12 grams. Guys, listen. Earlier, these many number of atoms, that means 1 mole of carbon atom was found to be 12 gram. Listen to this value carefully, 12 gram. Now I am changing the value of 1 mole. I am making it 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 20 only, right? Then the mass will be found to be 12 by 6.022 into 6.022. Guys, don't you think there is coming a very different number? So finally we are getting 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 grams. Right? So I can simply say that on changing the value of Avogadro's number from 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 20, you can simply say that the mass of 1 mole of carbon atom changes. And hence D should be the correct answer. Okay? Guys, the question was very simple, so I should have marked the answer directly. But this question was something from very basic concept. So I thought of explaining all the 4 points to you carefully. Okay? So guys, note down the answer that I have written here so that we can move on to the next question. Note it down. Okay. Guys, I think you are done with the very first question from NEET Chemistry from the chapter mole concept, right? Now I have got another question for you. You can look into the question that is given to you on screen. So that's the second question. Read out the question, note it down so that we can continue with the answer. Now, if you look at the question simply says, a mixture of gases contain hydrogen and oxygen gases in the ratio of 1:4. So guys, you're done with the first question, right? Now let us move on to the second question of the NEET exercises. And the second question simply states that, guys, it's a simple question and this was asked in, I think, 2011 NEET paper. So the question is, a mixture of gases contain hydrogen and oxygen gases in the ratio of 1:4 weight by weight. Okay, and now you need to simply calculate the molar ratio of these two gases in the mixture. It's pretty simple question. The question is simply, you have hydrogen and you have oxygen. Okay, and the ratio of their weights is given to be 1:4. So let us say you have 1x grams of hydrogen and you will have 4x grams of oxygen. Okay, so the ratio of weights of hydrogen and oxygen are 1:4. So I am just taking 1x and 4x, right? Now we need to find out the molar ratio. Like we need to calculate the number of moles of hydrogen is to number of moles of oxygen, right? How are we gonna begin the question? You know, right? The beginning of the question is simply you need to write the molar masses. So when you are going to write the molar masses of the mixture, you can simply say that for hydrogen, the molar mass will be 2 grams per mole. Am I right? And if I talk about oxygen, the molar mass will be 16 into 2, 32. Right? So simply can I now say that if 2 grams of hydrogen is taken, it will be equivalent to what grams of hydrogen? Like what moles of hydrogen? It will be equal to 1 mole of hydrogen, right? However, if I take 1 gram of hydrogen, how many moles will be there? You can say, ma'am, there should be 1 divided by 2 moles. Now guys, look into the question carefully. We have taken how many grams of hydrogen? X grams of hydrogen. So simply if I take X grams of hydrogen, how many moles of hydrogen will I be getting? I will be simply getting X by 2 moles of hydrogen. Right? That is point number 1 that I have calculated. Now let us do a similar thing in the case of oxygen. For oxygen, what I should be writing? I should be writing oxygen is equal to 32 grams per mole. What does that mean? This simply means you take 1 mole of oxygen molecules. How much it will weigh? It will weigh 32 grams, right? However, I can write the opposite also, that 32 grams of oxygen will be kept equivalent to 1 mole, right? So 1 gram of oxygen will be kept equivalent to 1 by 32 moles, right? But how much we have? Guys, come here to the question. We are having 4x grams of oxygen. So 4x grams of oxygen will weigh 4x by 32 moles. Point number 2. Still I am not satisfied. I want you to come again with me to the question. The question is you need to calculate the number of moles of hydrogen is to number of moles of oxygen. So don't do vice versa. He has asked hydrogen is to oxygen. So what should I say? The number of moles of hydrogen is to oxygen will be x by 2 to be divided by 4x divided by 32. Let's solve it. X got cancelled. 4:1 should be the answer. Let's see if there is any particular answer as 4:1 or not. First option is 2:1. No. Second is 1:4. No again. Third is 4:1. That's correct. Now I'm feeling happy, right? So this was simple question, right? But this was asked in 2011 NEET paper. That time it was not named as NEET, it was AIPMT, right? But it was question from that paper itself. So guys, now we are done with question number 2 also. Note down the answer that I have written here so that we can then proceed on to the third question. Note it down. So guys, done with the second question as well. Let us now move on to the third question. I have written the question on board. You can see the question so that we can continue. Okay, so moving on to the question, we have how many grams of methanol you must be knowing it is CH3OH, should be added to water to prepare 150 ml of solution of 2 molar methanol. That's it. It's a pretty simple question again. And you are my students, right? I have taught you lots of things about molarity and all, right? So just play with the molarity and number of moles definition. See guys, it is 2 molar methanol solution. So what should I write? 2 moles per liter, right, is equal to the given mass, I don't know, X, divided by what should be the molar mass of methanol. So guys, see, methanol is CH3OH, making it a total of 12 plus 16 plus 4. Again, it will come out to be 30, right? So, it should be coming out to be 32 grams per mole. You can see 12 for carbon, 16 for oxygen and 4 for hydrogen. So, 10 and 2. So, guys, I want you to be very, very careful while you write the units. So, the units are coming out to be 32 grams per mole. Okay, let me just rub it. So guys, can I take this per mole to the numerator and write? Okay, so given mass by molar mass divided by the volume of solution which is taken to be there in liters. You can see that the volume is given to be 150 ml. So convert it to liters, you will get 150 divided by 1000 liters, right? So what should I get? 2 moles by liter is equal to X mole to be divided by 32 grams into 150 liter into 1000, right? Now see, we can say liter get cancelled, mole will get cancelled. So finally, what should be the amount of X that you will be getting? You will be getting 2 multiplied by 32 to be multiplied by 150. See, the gram will go here. To be divided by only 1000. Right? So now if you solve the amount of X, you will be getting the value as. Now let's see how to figure it out. This got cancelled. Okay. I got something like this. 96 by 10, which should be 9.6 grams. Let's see. I got the answer in grams. 9.6 into 10 raised to the power 3. No. You would have got this particular answer if you would not have played with the units. I told you so many times to be very, very, very careful about the units, right? Now see, this I didn't get the value. That's correct. So again, I am happy because I got +4 again for the simplest question, right? So question number 3 is also done. Note down the question guys so that we can proceed on to the next question. Okay guys, done with this particular question. Let's move on to the next question. Give me a minute so that I can clear the board for you guys. So if I move on to the next question that I have, it is again a very chotu sa small sa question, right? The question is, which has maximum number of molecules? Maximum is important, molecules is important. Which has, I am not concerned about that, right? So we need to find maximum number of molecules in each of them. Which will be having the maximum number of molecules? Let's see. Option number A. We have 7 grams of nitrogen. We need to find the total number of molecules which are present in 7 grams of nitrogen. Guys, again, the very first and obvious thing that I'll ask you to do is to write the molar masses of all the following 4 species given to you. First of all, if I write about nitrogen, it should be 14 into 2, which is 28 grams per mole. I am very particular about writing the units, so you should also be particular about writing the units. Moving on to hydrogen, which is 2 into 1, that is 2 grams per mole. Next, moving on to NO2. So nitrogen is, guys, 14. O2 is 32, making it a total of 46 grams per mole, right? And the next thing that we have is 16 grams of O2. So my final thing is O2, that is again 32 grams per mole, right? Now let us choose options given to us one by one so as to get to the final answer. Option number 1 is 7 grams of N2. We need to calculate what are the total number of molecules present in 7 gram of N2. So guys, what does the statement mean? Can I say 28 grams of nitrogen will be having how many molecules or how many moles? 1 mole. And 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules of nitrogen, right? But how much we have? 1 gram of nitrogen will have 1 by 28 moles. Guys, see, I will not play with this bigger number. I will just write it to be N naught. So N naught divided by 28 molecules, okay? And the question was 28 grams of nitrogen will be having how many? Oh, no, sorry, 7 grams of nitrogen. So the question was 7 grams of nitrogen will be having how many molecules? So simply say na 7 into N naught divided by 28. We have N naught by 4, right? Molecules. Point number 1. Clear enough? Let me just write down here as a value N naught by 4. Okay? Let us continue further to 2 grams of hydrogen. So the B part is 2 grams. This time I am not talking about N2, rather I will be talking about H2. Right? Now see, can I say this is 28 grams of nitrogen. Can I simply write 2 grams of hydrogen will be equal to 1 mole, that means 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules, right? So 1 gram of hydrogen will be equal to just 1 by 2 moles, right? which will be equal to N naught by 2 molecules. Clear? But how much we have? I have been given 2 grams of hydrogen. So 2 grams of hydrogen, what will do? So again we'll do N naught to be divided by 2 into 2, which is N naught molecules, right? Let me change it here, and changing it here I'll get N naught. So which has maximum number of molecules? First of all, this is a wrong option which we'll just ignore, right? Moving on to the third part. Now what is the third part? This says 16 gram of NO2 has how many molecules? Guys, see here. So you can say 46 gram is having N naught molecules, right? So 1 gram will have N naught by 16, N naught by 46, right? And how much we have? 16 grams. So 16 gram will have 16 N naught by 46. Don't waste your time in solving all these, guys. 16 by 46 is genuinely a number less than 1. So maximum number that we have as of now is 1 N naught. So even this will not be the correct answer. So just ignore this, right? Let's move on to another, which is 16 grams of O2. See guys, 32 grams of oxygen is equal to 1 mole, which is N naught molecules. So 1 gram will be equal to 1 by 32 into N naught molecules, and finally we have just 16 grams. So that will be 16 by 32 into N naught, which is 0.5 N naught. But 0.5 N naught is again a number smaller compared to N naught. So guys, we are left with B option as the correct option for question number 4. Okay. So guys, having done this much, note it down carefully so that we can continue with the next question. I think guys, we are done with the 4th question. Now I will be writing the 5th question, and here on board you can see the 5th question for you people. The question is, an organic compound containing carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen only gave the following analysis where carbon is found to be 40%, hydrogen is found to be 13.33% and nitrogen is found to be 46.67%. We need to tell what should be the empirical formula of the compound, right? So guys, this kind of question we have discussed in our video lectures as well, and I told you that time also that these questions are really very important when it comes to either the CBSE or the NEET portion, right? Let us start solving. I remember I told you the question on the basis of making a table. So first of all, you can just in short write down the serial number. We have 1. How many elements are present? And the third one, this. So in this particular case, what are the elements that are given to me? We have carbon, we have hydrogen and we have nitrogen which are given to me, right? If I ask you to write down the molar masses of all of them, so you will say carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1, nitrogen is 14, right? Now I will ask you the percentages which are given to us. Carbon is 40, okay, hydrogen is 13 and nitrogen is 46. Okay, fine. Now what will I do? I will simply ask you to take the ratio. And what is to be done while you have to take the ratio? what ratio you have to take? You simply have to divide 40 by 12. And if I'm not wrong, it should be 20 by 6. That means it should be 10 by 3. So value should be 3.33. Okay. Moving further, 13.33 to be divided by 1, which should be 13.33. And if you continue further, we have 46.67 divided by 14, which will again come out to be something 3.33, because we have 14 2s are 28 and 14 into 3 will be, so this thing 14 3s are 42. So this 46 is little greater than 42, right? So the value is 3.33. Okay, but then this doesn't give us anything, right? So now I'll ask you to take the simplest ratio. What is to be done if I'm asking you to take the simplest ratio? You just have to divide the number with the smallest number. So 3.33 to be divided by the smallest number, which is again 3.33, value comes out to be 1. Now 13.33 to be divided by 3.33, the value will be approximately 4, because 3 4s are 12. So now this is 3.33 into 4 should be something greater than 12, right? And again 3.33 to be divided by 3.33 is 1. So I got the simplest ratio, right? So we should have carbon 1, hydrogen 4 and nitrogen 1. That means let us look for the formula if it is available. So let me start from the bottom. C2, no. C2, no. C1H5, no. Oh my god, I got the very first option, right? Which is C1H4N. I love the questions where option number A is the correct option, right? So this is our correct option for question number 5. Okay? So guys, there is a question, there is the answer also. You can note it down so that we can continue further to the next question. Okay, this was an easy question, right? Now I will put on screen the next question, which is question number 6. By the way, you must be relaxed, right? Now since half of the lecture is already done, so you will be like, wow, only another half left, right? Okay. So you can read out the question so that I can. Okay guys, we have got another question for you, and the question is, which has the maximum number of molecules among the following? You might be thinking we have done a very similar question beforehand also, right? But my purpose of taking the question again was to simply show you that this pattern question are really very common for NEET paper, okay? So that is why I have written the question again. This is a similar question, but we have done it again in order to make sure that you people do not skip these kind of questions for your coming exams. Okay? So this time we can do it a little more quickly. Which has maximum number of molecules among the following? Options. 8 grams of H2. Guys, see, now you'll solve it quickly. Hydrogen is 2 grams per mole. So see, 8 grams divided by 2 grams per mole. Gram got cancelled, it is 4 moles, that means 4 and not molecules, right? Moving ahead, we have SO2. Sulfur is itself 32, oxygen is 32, making it a total of 64 grams per mole. And so 64 gram is given, so 1 mole is given, that means N naught molecules, right? 44 grams of CO2. CO2 is again 44 grams per mole and 44 grams is given to you. Again it is N naught molecules. And oxygen is 16 into 3, 48 grams per mole. 48 grams is given to you. So the question is again simpler, N naught molecule. So maximum number of molecules among the following are present in my bestest option, which is option number A, right? So again we are done with the question, a happy smiling face to it. Okay, note it down so that I can continue further. Okay guys, so the 6th question was pretty much easy. So let us directly come on to question number 7. Question number 7 states that 10 grams of hydrogen and 64 grams of oxygen are filled in a steel vessel and exploded. So exploded, sealed in a vessel, what you have to do? You simply have to take a container, put some molecules of hydrogen, some molecules of oxygen. And you know, right, when hydrogen and oxygen will be combined with each other, it will lead to the formation of water, right? So now I'll tell you the very first point is you need to write the balanced chemical equation. And what we do? 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, so 1 by 2, right? It's a balanced chemical equation. But if you talk in the terms of in the terms of chemistry for a complete balanced chemical equation, this should not be called as a balanced chemical equation. Why? Because the stoichiometric coefficient should not be some fraction number, it has to be some natural number, right? But guys, for the chapter mole concept, since we know 1 mole will combine with half mole, so that is still okay, right? We can use it for the mole concept. But according to the theoretical definition, this is not exactly a balanced chemical equation. Let's continue further. The question is, you are given 10 grams of hydrogen and 64 grams of oxygen. The amount of water produced in the reaction will be, guys, see, whether this or this or this or this, if any of them is the answer has to be written in moles, right? So my aim is not to talk in the terms of grams but to talk in the terms of moles. Hydrogen is 1 gram per mole, and if you talk about H2, it should be 2 grams per mole. So what should be the number of moles in 10 gram? It should be 5. Okay, so oxygen is what? 32 grams per mole. Right? How much is given to you? 64 grams. That means we actually got 2 moles of oxygen. Fine enough? Now let's see how much water is to be produced. Guys, see, if I say 1 mole of hydrogen will give 1 mole of water, so 5 moles of hydrogen should give 5 moles of water. But we are not having any option, right? Moreover, this approach is also not correct. Why? Because first of all, we need to find what is the limiting reagent of the reaction which will limit the amount of the product that will be formed in this balanced chemical equation. Am I right? Now see carefully, if I am taking 1 mole of hydrogen, the oxygen needed will be, how much oxygen is needed? Half mole. So for 1 mole of hydrogen to react, we need half moles of oxygen. So for 5 moles of hydrogen to react, the amount of oxygen needed will be, so what should be the amount of oxygen needed? It should be 5 divided by 2. That is 2.5 moles, right? But guys, are we having 2.5? No, we just have 2 moles of oxygen, right? That means oxygen is the limiting reagent of the chemical equation, okay? So instead of talking about hydrogen, I will just ignore hydrogen for some time. It doesn't matter whether hydrogen is given to me or not. So we will not be concerned about this particular entity. Rather, we can say half mole of oxygen will give water is equal to 1 mole. So half mole of oxygen will give how much water? 1 mole. Okay, so 1 mole of oxygen will give how much water? 2 moles. Right? And how much do we have? We have 2 moles of oxygen. So 2 moles of oxygen will give how much moles of water? 4 moles of water will be given to me. Let us see if we have any option. 3, no. 4, yes. No, no. That means we finally got option number B as the correct option for question number 7. Okay. Now we are left with just 3 questions. Question number 8, 9, 10. Quickly note down all these things so that I can move on to question number 8 for you people. Okay guys, so we are done with question number 7, right? Now on the board you can see question number 8. Read the question carefully so that now we can proceed on with the answer. So if you look at question number 8 carefully, you will finally understand that an element X has the following isotopic composition. That means element X exists in 3 different isotopic forms, which is given X 200 as 90%, plus we have X 199 as 8%, plus we have X 202 which is 2%. Okay, the weighted average atomic mass of naturally occurring isotope of X is closest to which number? Okay, guys, now carefully see. For example, let's say there is an element with atomic number 40 and there is another element like the same element, its isotopic form, with atomic number 37, let's say. Okay, and if I simply say that, let's say the atomic number is given to be 38, fine. Now if I say that this is present in 50% ratio, this is present in 50% ratio. So what will be the average mass? So you will simply say, ma'am, 50 by 100 into 40 plus 50 by 100 into 38. Am I right? And if you calculate, you will get the answer. So we'll get 0, 0, 0, 0. We'll get 20 plus 0, 0 to 19. That means 39, right? Moreover, guys, look very carefully. If this is 40, if this is 38, if 100% 40 would have been there, then the mass would have been directly 40. If 100% 38 would have been there, then the mass would have been directly 38. But you take 50% this, 50% this, right? So the value will come out to be genuinely average. Neither 38 nor 40. It will be there in the middle. Right? However, if I say now the percentage is not 50 but 70 and this is not 50 but 30. So don't you think more number of molecules will be of X40? So don't you think now the value will be even shifted to this side? Okay. However, if you would have taken this as 30, this as 70. So instead of getting the answer as 39, the answer would have been close to 38. Right? So the one which is present in maximum percentage, the answer will be close to that only. Clear, right? Now question is, you have to tell the weighted average atomic mass and that to the closest number. You don't have to directly do the 100% complete calculation. I'll do that also for you, but first of all we'll see how the answer can be, how you can get the answer. See guys, 90% is available as 200 and 8% is available as 199. Only 2% is available as 202. If 100% would have been 202, then the final answer would have been 202. So now only 2% is there, so this cannot be final answer. Am I right? Similarly, if 100% would have been 199, then the answer would have been 199. But we have added approximate 90% of 200. So even this cannot be the answer. Fine. Now guys, we are left with either 200 or 201. But guys, these two percentages, the percentage of a higher number is very less. It's 2%. Very, very less, right? Whereas the percentage of a lower atomic number is much higher compared to that of 202, right? So the number will be close to 200 and not to 201. However, if it would have been, let's say, 8 to 10% and this would have been 2%, then you could have expected the answer as 201. But since the lesser one is more, the higher one is less, so the answer will be close to this only, which is 2020, right? And now if you want to do the question properly, theoretically, in a traditional way, you will say the average mass will be equal to 200 into 90 by 100, which will come out to be 180, plus if I continue further, you will say 199 into 8 to be divided by 100. This if you do, plus 202 into 2 divided by 100, right? So this will come out to be 404 divided by 100, 4.04, right? And this will come out to be something like 15 point something. Guys, see how 15 point something I have guessed out. If this would have been 200, so 200 into 8 will be 16, right? But this is something less, so it should be coming out to be 15.9 something. I don't know what, but I have just taken an approximation, okay? Now you do 180 plus something 15.9 plus 4.04. Do the calculation, you will surely get the answer to be close to 200 only. Okay. So guys, this was about the question number 8. Now we are left with just 2 questions. One is question 9 and the another one is 10. Note down question number 8 so that we can move further. Okay guys, so ready for question number 9? Now on the screen you can see the next question that I am writing, that is question number 9. The question is again pretty simple. The question says, you must be thinking, ma'am, every question is easy for you. What about us, right? But you are my student, so again I am confident that the question is easy for you as well. So question number 9 is the number of moles of nitrogen. Okay. In 1 liter of air containing 10% nitrogen by volume under standard conditions is. Standard condition means standard temperature and pressure conditions, right? Now guys, I'll simply start with what do we mean by writing 10% nitrogen by volume. Okay, so if I'm writing 10% nitrogen, can I say 10 ml by 100 ml into 100, right? This is what we have learned. So now can I say that if I have 100 ml sample of air, in 100 ml sample of air, the amount of nitrogen will be 10 ml. Am I right? So if I have, how much ml of sample is given to us? 1 liter sample of air is given. So in 100 ml, we have 10. In 1 liter is nothing but 1000 ml. So can I simply say that 1 liter or 1000 ml sample of air will have how much nitrogen? 100 ml, right? So finally I got to know the amount of nitrogen present in ml in the 1 liter sample of air. Now he is saying you need to calculate the number of moles of nitrogen under standard conditions, right? So guys, under standard conditions, you know, right, 1 mole of any gas, so let it be nitrogen gas, will be having a volume equal to 22.4 liters, right? So if I want to convert it into ml into 1000, that means it should be 22400 ml. Okay, so if I have 22400 ml of nitrogen, it will have 1 mole of nitrogen. So 1 ml of nitrogen will be having how many moles of nitrogen? You will say, ma'am, 1 divided by 22400 moles, right? Whereas we had how much nitrogen? We had 100 ml of nitrogen. So 100 ml of nitrogen will be having how many moles of nitrogen? And how many this will come out to be? 00 got cancelled and it will be 1 by 224 moles. And the answer should be something coming out to be, guys, see, I am not solving it. Let me just see how to do. 1 by 224 is something which I need to solve. I will not spend time in solving, in doing the division. Can I write 1 by 224 something close to 1 by 250, right? Now if it would have been 1 by 250, then the answer would have been, guys, see, so answer will be 1 by 250 to be multiplied by, let's say, 1000. Exact 4, right? That means if there is 250 in the denominator, answer will be 4. If there is something less than 250 in the denominator, let's say 224, answer will be something greater than 4. Something greater than 4. That is what I am having in mind. 0.03 is not something related to 4. Ignore. 2.01, guys, it cannot be the answer. The answer is 1 by 224, which is way too smaller than 1. So, according to this, 2.10 cannot be the option. Next is 0.186 and the next is 4.46. So, I am pretty sure my calculations are okay that the answer should be close to 4.46 into 10 raised to the power minus 3, because it is something related to 4 also, greater than 4 also, and with a good number 10 raised to the power minus 3. However, this is, no, guys, see, 1 by 224 cannot be 0.2, right? Cannot be, not possible at all. So, D is the correct option. Fine. So, guys, this was question number 9. Note down the procedure properly. Note down how I have taught you the question, like what are the steps to be followed. Now, we can proceed on to the next question. For that, give me time to write it down. By the time, you can note the question. So, guys, now ready for the last question of the video. Now the last question that I have for you people is something as this. You can have a minute to note down the question, read out the question so that now I can solve it for you. The question is, oh my god, it's a pretty lengthy question. Suppose that A and B form, it should be formed. So, A and B form the compounds B2A3 and B2A. Okay. If 0.5 moles of B2A3 weighs 9 grams and 0.1 moles of B2A weighs 10 gram, you need to simply calculate what is the atomic weight of A and B, right? Guys, let us say, just assume, I don't know what to do in the question, let's just assume the atomic weight of A, B, small a, don't get confused in A and B, let it be small a grams per mole, okay. Similarly, let me assume the atomic weight of capital B, B, small b grams per mole. Okay. Now he is saying that 0.05 moles of B2A3. This weighs 9 grams. Okay. So simply find out the mass of 1 mole of B2A3. So 1 mole of B2A3 will be 9 to be divided by 5 to be divided by 100. So let me just write it here. 180 grams. Okay. So 1 mole of B2A3 will be 180. So can I say B2A3 molar mass is 180 grams per mole, right? Also, can I write one equation? 2 times B plus 3 times A, value will be 180. Equation number 1 that I have got for you, right? Let us move in the similar grounds. Now he says 0.1 mole of B2A. So 0.1 mole of B2A. This weighs how much gram? This weighs 10 grams. Okay. So 1 mole of B2A. Can I write it to be 10 divided by 0.1, which is 100 grams, right? So also can I say B2A will be 100 grams per mole? Okay. So if B2A is 100 grams per mole, can I also write 2B plus A value equal to 100? Equation number 2. Okay. Now our aim is just to solve these two equations. Let me remove this. Even I am not concerned about this. I have these two equations which I need to solve. First is 2B plus 3A is equal to 180, right? And the second is 2B plus A is equal to 100. Let's try to solve it. Can I simply ask you to subtract the second equation from the first equation? 2A is equal to 80. A is equal to 40, right? And if A is 40, you can simply say, substitute it in second equation. 2B plus 40 is equal to 100. 2B is equal to 60 and B is equal to 30. So the option should be A 40, B 30. Let's see. The atomic weight of A and B, 30, 40. Don't mark the answer quickly 30, 40. You need to see very carefully whether he has written A here or B here. Like you need to be very careful. So A 30, B 40? No. A 40, B 30? Yes. Don't go to the other options since we finally got the final answer to the last question of NEET paper. Okay. So guys, this was all about the 10 questions that I have picked up for you from the past year NEET. Okay. So you need to revise them properly so that we can do further things also. So now by the time till my next video you see, till that time you need to take care and goodbye.